Yo, what's going on, guys? So today we have a very awesome and special video. We finally have all of the new Egyptian god support in action with, of course, the newer support that recently came out. So if you're excited about Egyptian gods, drop a like on this video because finally they have some reasonable support. As if you go browse on any different YuGiOh like forum or like TikTok or any of these other social medias, with a casual player base, they always think Egyptian gods for some reason are the best cards, but reality hits and they realize that they're not so great. However, with some of the newer support cards, they're actually so much more viable and playable in today's game. Specifically, letting you get rid of 3 of your opponent's monsters to instantly grant you that Egyptian god is quite a good card. And on top of that, being a quick play, I was like, dude, this card is actually quite legit. Now, are Egyptian gods going to be the most meta with this newer card? No. But that's basically the best new card that has came out for them. But there's a few other cards that you guys will see and see how actually they will be seeing play in action. We're actually going to go ahead and see a lot of good plays too by people actually countering the Egyptian gods, which is kind of funny here. I know it sounds strange trying to counter Egyptian gods, but the guy actually played off pretty smart with this AA Zeus. So anyways, he's going to go ahead and stop the Millennium Revelation over here. He's going to go ahead and now follow up with Exchanging Souls, which lets you tribute 3 of your opponent's monsters, but he uses AA Zeus's effect to get rid of his own entire field except for AA Zeus, so there wasn't 3 monsters left to tribute, which was kind of a big brain play by him. But of course, Egyptian gods, well, he still got a couple extra cards, and Guardian Slime, which was more recent support. It's not the newest support, like this card came out a while back, but it's still a really great card to go ahead and stall with Egyptian gods. And on top of that, with Dogwood, you know what's going to be happening with that Winged Dragon on Ra with that massive, amazing effect. Just anime level stuff over here, so you guys are going to go ahead and see him go for Winged Dragon Raw, pay that 16k live points, and then go ahead and one-shot a 4k monster for 12,000 points of damage, because that's what Dogwood does. But anyways, we got a lot more plays, so that was basically showing off how good the Dogwood can be, but plus you guys get to see like kind of the opponent playing around it. Now I'm going to consider this an upgraded deck profile, and if you guys are new here, what I mean by an upgraded deck profile, we show off decks, sometimes we're going to show it win, we're going to show it lose. This way you guys can get an idea on what the heck the deck can actually do, as you know, it's great to see a deck win when you're hyped up about it, but you know, we have to let reality set in and show the deck lose just to see like kind of like the counters of this deck. But realistically, if you're playing against meta decks usually will just run over most of our like fan favorite decks, unfortunately. However, I know that this happens to be an OCG card, but it doesn't really matter. I got called by the grave anyways. But Slifer the Sky Dragon is still a fantastic card up against any deck that would just require them to special summon a bunch of small monsters over here. So you're going to see the Exchanging Souls. Bam, Slifer the Sky Dragon is going to come out. But remember, Slifer the Sky Dragon has an awesome ability where it's able to delete everything now that is under 2,000 text. So it reduces things by 2,000, and if it's under that number, or if it goes to 0 as a result, it just goes ahead and destroys it. So it's very hard. But when you're looking at the meta of the game, he actually pulled off this card. This is another new card called Thunder Force Attack, which is actually pretty cool. So what it does is it can't not be negated, which is actually pretty cool. So if you control Slifer the Sky Dragon, you destroy as many face-up monsters your opponent controls as possible. So ideally you try to like negate their effects, or if they again cannot stop this card, because they can't. As long as Slifer comes out A-OK, you activate this, you destroy as many face-up monsters your opponent controls as possible. Then if this card was activated during your main phase, because it is a quick play, where you're able to draw cards equal to the number of monsters destroyed and sent to your opponent's graveyard by this effect. You can only attack with 1 monster this turn though, so you're not going to be doing this then summoning a bunch of monsters, but usually it's okay because you're going to be able to draw a bunch of cards if it's technically on your turn anyways. Now unfortunately with the meta of the game, like I was thinking like this would be really great against like BA or you know, the Phantom Knights. They have access to Fog Blade. Unfortunately, without the anime effects where like they're basically immune to anything that has like a different like divine level, which is again something in like the anime version of the cards, they still lose out to like very basic things like impermanence or or like Fog Blade, or anything that would just like negate, like you can even use for example that Chalice or anything. I wish the Egyptian gods at least had some type of protection. Like Obelisk technically has some protection where it can't be targeted, but I think that the Egyptian gods just need a little bit better support. There is a card called Mound of the Bound Creator, which actually does help out the deck quite a bit. It technically adds any divine too when it's destroyed, which is kind of nice, but you guys are going to see him be able to go ahead and get a massive amount of attack. And he's going to go and bring out the Guardian Slime. Now, over here, he's going to go ahead and opt to not use Extravagance because he wants to keep the extra deck here for, of course, that fusion card that you can go into, which is the Egyptian God Slime. He's going to go ahead and be able to search out a card. He could go ahead and activate the Ancient Chant, search out that Winged Dragon Raw, banish that so this card would be immune to things. But unfortunately, he gets Fog Bladed over here, and even tributing this card, even if he did have the ability to go ahead and do it, its effects technically negated over here. I'm not sure if that does also negate the counts as 3 tributes for certain things. I think that might actually still be, even if it gets negated, it might apply. But once you get something over a certain amount of attack, technically Winged Dragon Raw does have that ability, so you can pay 1,000 life points and target a monster on the field and pop it. But obviously, when you summon it via the tribute effect, you might not have those life points to pay at the end of the day. It's just that against a lot of the meta, especially any variant of Orcus or anything with Phantom Knights, you're just going to get Fog Blade. They're just negated by like 1 card. You can see if he was able to not have that Fog Blade be there, or just any protection, he would have been a-okay for the most part, because most of the stuff in this deck would just summon and just die instantly for them. But we got a lot of variety in over here, so some of these are going to be against OCG players. Not that it matters, because this one is Convulsions of Nature is also a very cool cheesy card, which you guys will see later in the duel. So we've got multiple different builds of this deck as well. You guys can go ahead and see the Agoki deck over here. This is still a pretty decent deck. It's kind of like an Assault Turbo deck at the end of the day, but this is just really showing you guys that power of the Exchanging Soul. So like, he's ready to go set up for his play, and bam, instantly that Winged Dragon of Ra, pay all life points except for 100, and we all in, hit him for 7,900. In fact, this was an early build that I was making, and it was funny, guys, is I was actually playing Sparks on it for this reason of it being high. Like, if we can draw Sparks, I was trying to turbo Sparks, if we could just hit him with the Sparks for game, you know that the opponent would be super salty. Now, I wouldn't recommend that at all for playing, other than for, you know, hype, you know, plays of, like, the guy's at only 100 HP, and I'm only on 100 HP too, so it makes the game really intense. It's like a sudden death mode, which is awesome. But there's also a really awesome card, and this is the card that I wanted to highlight. For any of you guys that are just newer to, you know, maybe you come back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Because of course, the new Egyptian God support, Mountain of the Bound Creator is excellent. It makes it so level 10 or higher monsters, which of course Egyptian Gods are, they cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects. So if we just had that, we might have been a-okay on that last duel over there. But yeah, that was just one variant of a card that I can definitely recommend, and I want to go and show you guys lots of different builds for it. But this card's really great because also when it's destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can add a divine monster from your deck to your hand. So another little bonus over there. This next duel up over here is going to be a different build, and going over some of the other cards can be options, because sometimes you want to tribute your own monsters, because one problem that I did run into when I was playing this deck is if my opponent only had 2 monsters, it was actually a pretty big problem, because some decks, they might not throw out that many monsters, you know, ASAP, and I like wanted them to. But the thing is that, again, not every deck is going to spam the board with multiple negates. And what's funny is, like, that's how generally Yu-Gi-Oh! Is played at higher levels. It's just summon a bunch of monsters that have a bunch of, you know, disruptions. With, of course, the ability to go ahead and tribute them, you don't really have to worry about that. But if there's nothing to tribute, it kind of hurts your deck. But this one is more of a variant to go ahead and go for some link plays over here. And you're actually seeing a really cool play. This is just a cool little tip. If you make Nightmare Phoenix, get rid of the Guardian Slime. Go ahead and proc the Guardian Slime's effect over here. Because whenever it's sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, you get an out-of-spell trap from your deck that specifically lists the Winged Dragon of Ra in its text over here. And you also went ahead and gave him the giant egg over here. Unfortunately, a lot of decks will just use this later down the line. Sometimes they can use it as material. Now, it does have an awesome ability where it cannot attack and your opponent can't target it. But the problem is they'll just use it for material. Now, he unfortunately still loses out on his Phoenix over here. He also loses out on the token. The Slime token generator card is okay sometimes. I just really wish it like gave you another plus. Like if it added the little like girl, it would have been excellent, I think, for that. But he's gonna go ahead and make that Egyptian God Slime once again. Gonna go ahead and go for the Ancient Chant, and the Ancient Chant will go ahead and grant him the free ability to go ahead and make that Winged Dragon Raw, paying all of his life points, going all in. He's gonna go ahead and move that monster over there, and unfortunately, that does also, this card over here has this ability where you can destroy this card and then also make one face-up monster field unable to attack, and it also has its effect negated. So he paid all those life points just to go ahead and lose them all, and that feels so bad. Again, that's what I'm saying, like, because this effect over here, where is it, you can just make one. I'm not sure 100% if this would be applicable if that other Mountain of the Bound Creator is on the board, because it doesn't specifically says target, but I'll have to double check on the rule on that. If someone knows, let me know down below. But again, if that was a target effect over here, this one specifically says target one face-up card on the field, but Yu-Gi-Oh is a complex game sometimes, and things that say that it might not specify if it targets or not, and you'll just have to like know the ruling on it. But nonetheless, that would be something to take into consideration as well. But anyways, this one up over here is going to be quite cool because this guy actually makes a pretty smart play, and we're going to go ahead and actually see one of my favorite cards where you get to flip up your deck completely upside down, and you're going to be able to utilize a card called the True Name. So what the True Name does is you get to declare one card name. You excavate the top card of your deck. If it's the declared card, you get to add it to your hand, and then also you get to special summon a divine monster from your deck, which is quite awesome. So you get to bring out an Egyptian god from the deck, which is obviously a very powerful effect, but you do have to mix it in with Mound of the Bound Creator or another card that we'll get into once I go ahead and go over the deck profiles for this. So once again, I mean, there's two monsters here. That's just such a huge problem sometimes. Like, he can't use the Exchange Souls, but he is using the new card, the Pot of Disparity, which I actually think is a really good card in this deck, because a lot of times with this deck, you're missing like that, either the Tribute card or the Egyptian God. So he's going to go ahead and call the correct card. So his opponent now knows that he has Fist of the Fate. Now, this is a really awesome card. So this one specifically requires Obelisk the Tormentor, and what it does is it goes ahead and makes it so as long as you control Obelisk Tormentor, you get to negate the effects of an effect monster your opponent controls, destroy it, and for the rest of the turn, its effects are negated, as well as the activated effects and effects on the field of monsters with the same original name. And then, if this card was activated during your main phase, you get to destroy all spell and traps your opponent controls. So you not only get to negate get rid of a monster, and also negate all the rest of the other ones that they might have. Or if it gets a proc effect in the graveyard, that will also stop it, which you'll see later in this duel. So he's going to go ahead and use the True Name once again. But unfortunately, since the conventional nature, it got destroyed, he's not going to be able to utilize it again. But that would be like kind of the way to use it with like Gishki Diviner is also another cool card that you can use that like top deck mechanic, which is always just fun to go ahead and do. It's just more so for hype, but I mean, I probably wouldn't recommend it for most people. So he actually goes ahead and summons a bunch of monsters, and at first I was like, why doesn't he just make something? I was like, okay, this guy's just maybe bad over here, but no. Jordan is actually playing it smart because he knew that he had Fist of Fate, so he would have lost out on that one monster anyways if he would have went for it, because it negates, pops it, and then it doesn't get that proc effect. But don't sign him out yet. Buster Blader does still have a bunch of resilient things. Heck, I've seen a lot of people play Buster Blader recently, just because it has the potential to like lock your opponent out of playing. But Mound of Bound Creator, once again, remember that effect, you get to go ahead and add another card. So Vermilion Dragon does have this effect over here where if it is destroyed by card effect, you get to target one of your banished tuners and add it back to your hand. But that's not going to be able to be activated because, of course, of the Fist of Fate over here. So at this point, he's going to go ahead and be able to do summon a Buster Blader with that effect over there, and then he's going to have to go to pass. He still has another True Name. He still has Metal Reflex Slime. He's going to go ahead and Fist of Fate again, go ahead and just pop another card, and so it's not going to activate until his other effect activates that summons the other monster, so he'll be able to select a different target. He actually makes this play over here, where I guess he didn't have, I actually want to pause. I don't think did he just not have another option over here? Because someone left at this point in the duel. So Red Resonator can go and boost it up because of special summon, and then Jorn surrendered. So I guess he didn't have an option to go for something else. I can't click on it over here. But this card technically would be, let's see, so you contribute a monster target rendering archer monster graveyard. Special summon it, but when it inflicts damage, you get to bring out 2 cards. Unfortunately, Obelisk is just too strong for that card. So Egyptian gods are going to be taking the W here. But anyways, now that you guys have seen it in action, I want to go ahead and give you guys a deck profile so you guys can go ahead and run this deck if you want it yourself. So here was one build that I really did enjoy overall. I mean, this deck isn't supposed to necessarily be a competitive deck, but I really wanted it to be honest. I tried throwing in the Permanences and Ash Blossoms, but I really liked actually the Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood. Now, it's kind of a double-edged sword because if your opponent doesn't special summon, then you're not going to get that awesome ability to go ahead and heal up a bunch of life points potentially. I really like this turn 1 for the specific reason of going for Raw and then one-shotting my opponent. Having Mound of the Bound Creator is an excellent card. There's a lot more Raw support, but I actually found out that like a lot of times, and it wasn't really good gameplay if I was to show you guys it, but a lot of times whenever I would use that new card, oh wait, did it get moved over here? Oh, you know what, I guess they changed the name of it and it actually got moved over here, but it's Exchanging Souls for this deck profile over here. Sometimes when the game updates, there's decks that are get messed up over here because like a card text gets updated or pictures or something like that. But anyways, this card, sometimes when I activate it, it's an instant my opponent quits. That's not good for gameplay. But the most important thing is I want to show you guys all of the cards here. But I really like this card for being able to just get out Slifer. And Slifer, while you can play the deck more built around Raw, like all the new support does different things for all of them, and you guys got to see all of the new support here. But I would say turn 1, like paying all your life points for Raw probably isn't that great, unless your opponent maybe goes first and it's on your first turn, then you summon it, then you can one-shot them with, of course, that huge amount of life points boost that you get with Dogwood. But yeah, this is going to be a few different deck profiles. I guess I didn't really show any gameplay of Raw's type, but all you do is you summon it and you bring out the rest of them. And then you can use this card called Card Advance, and that allows you to go ahead and look at the top 5 cards of your deck. You get to rearrange them in any order, so it does work technically with that card true name. A lot of people just play this in general too. It just works also well with being able to utilize the Raw's Disciple. But it lets you go ahead and get an additional tribute summon in addition to your normal summon set this turn, so that's kind of nice. This is a Reactor Slime. You guys did get to see this already. It just generates 2 tokens and it's got a quick effect to tribute it, and then you get to set a Metal Reflex Slime. It's okay. It's just, again, a lot of the stuff for this is just simply too slow. The only thing you can really do turn 1 that's a threat at all is turn 1 Slifer the Sky Dragon, if you can even go for it. It'd be like Raw's Disciple, then you go ahead and activate like a Card Advance, and then you could maybe kind of set up the top of your cards. Then we have the Spooky Sister, and then Crystal Girl. You guys probably saw it multiple times. This is just like a go-to card. It just lets you go ahead and utilize that awesome ability to go ahead, make the Guardians. You know what? This one got messed up a lot. It also moved the Guardian Slime out of this over here as well. We don't have to play triple of these over here. I think this one just got really messed up by the update, but you can play 2 and 2 of these if you want to as well. But nonetheless, it's just kind of a brief deck profile over here. But I think there's 1 for 1 because this card technically, it's an awesome target for that as well. And some of the cards, like I mentioned before, with the Guardian Slime, it goes from your hand to the graveyard. You have that awesome add the spell trap that lists the Winged Dragon on Raw. I was originally playing some of the other Raw cards, but I really didn't like playing the deck specifically around Raw. I really liked it more around Slifer than anything. I was running Super Poly in one of the builds here, so that's why it has an actual like kind of extra deck that's running like 3 copies of this. This and Link Karibo are the only things that I make consistently. But again, with that Nightmare Phoenix play, that was an option as well. But just Super Poly targets at the end of the day over here. And I'm not really too worried about like extravagance, because like it's basically like you activate it ASAP, because this technically draw standby, just go for it, and then you'll be A-okay anyways with extrav. But I was actually trying out Average because I really did like Raw's Disciple, but it's just not worth it for the most part. And I didn't like Upstart because it put my opponent sometimes at just too much life points. But it's not like that terrible, and obviously we're playing like over 40 cards, so it's really not that necessary over here. So that was one of the builds over here. This one was by Magician Master. I liked this build as well. I liked all players that play this deck because it's just like a nostalgic, fan favorite. And of course that Thunder Force attack, just showing off multiple different ways to play the deck. There's also, like I said, the other deck, this deck profile got really messed up by one of the updates. But there's a card, the Ancient Chant. I would recommend playing Ancient Chant over 3 copies of Raw, because you could just search out one. Deck thin's a little bit better. But this is another build. I'm going to mouse over these a little bit faster here, just so the video isn't super long, but I'll also include the download files down below in the Discord if you guys want to go ahead and just click download all of them. And there are rank 10s that you can go ahead and play. The only real rank 10 that I really like is Superior Dora and the Gustav Max. I mean, this card can be used, but for the most part, the Egyptian gods have enough attack. Like, this has 4k. Yeah, I know it can gain extra stats on it, but for the most part, I think most of the time this card will pretty much get the 2k in real easy. But there are certain times where there will be other ones to go ahead and pop up. But this one was by Yosenju Meta, which Yosenju is unfortunately not too hot right now. But any deck with Convulsions of Nature, I usually get pretty hyped up about, because I just really simply enjoy seeing that. Now, this guy built the deck more around Obelisk than anything. It's kind of hard to build like an Egyptian god deck that has like all 3 of them. If you were to ask my advice, I think Slifer is the only one that can ever be competitive in the game, especially going first. Because going first, you really don't have an insane setup play. Like summoning an Obelisk turn 1 is not that powerful. If you back it up with Battle of the Bound Creator, what's going to happen is they're going to use something, pop this, get rid of Obelisk, or they'll have something that's a non-targeting and then just sends it to the graveyard, destroys it, or whatever the case may be. It's really like your best play turn 1 is like set exchanging souls. Hope your opponent doesn't see it, and then they get surprised and they lose all their like monsters. But shout out to Sandra Meta for his build over here. And then this one is the Great Bird of the Sky. I liked his build as well. This is more of the Link build, which you guys did get to go ahead and see a little bit of. But he's running a lot of floaters. Floaters, I mean, with Tour Guide, obviously, yeah, you can go Tour Guide saying it. It's like an okay little ability over there, but it's just a little bit too slow for today's metagame, especially with Scapegoats. It's cool that you get all these tokens, but realistically, what's going to happen with it? You set one monster pass, it's just like bounce back the monster, OTK. It just feels like that's just how Yu-Gi-Oh's gotten in. The Egyptian gods just really haven't been able to keep up. I really wish that like this card, if it was destroyed while it was set, it got some bonus to go ahead and search out this, so you could at least defend yourself, because at the end of the day, Egyptian gods still need a lot more to become anywhere near viable for the meta of the game. Now this one was an OCG player, but he decided to go ahead and play all of them over here. Like set a mouse over them real quick. There's also the Relinquish Anima. That's another fantastic card over there as well. But anyways, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for the Egyptian gods, guys. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it. And if you are new here, make sure you guys subscribe with that bell notification on if you want to see more new Yu-Gi-Oh! Duels, gameplays, and more Yu-Gi-Oh! Content. But thanks for tuning in, guys. And I'll catch you in the next video. Have a good one. And I'm signing out. Peace.